I love getting out in the morning at the ass crack of dawn, getting a cup of coffee and driving around and just enjoying nature. I think it's just absolutely amazing. My wife hates nature. She's allergic to everything. So, don't marry a chick who's allergic to literally everything except for like the air, which actually she's allergic to everything in the air. So anyway, I was talking to some wealthy people last night about, guess what? Bitcoin. Trying to explain to them that, I think that down the road, my children or grandchildren, ultimately Bitcoin is going to be the world monetary standard, because all these different fiats around the world, all of them have collapsed. If you look at any fiat all the way back to the beginning of time, whether they're trading seashells or, a giant stones in their city, believe it or not, or, the different money standards from the trading companies, everything, it ultimately goes to zero because the governments destroy their dollars by printing too many dollars, right? And I was trying to explain to them that Bitcoin, number one, can never be deflated away because there's a finite number. There's 21 million Bitcoin. And when I was talking about maybe Bitcoin becoming a world currency, their argument was, well, there's only 21 million. And so I said, well, actually, the way you break each Bitcoin up into a Satoshi, in reality, there are 21 quadrillion. That's 21,000 trillion Satoshis that are going to be available to the world. Probably less than that because many have been lost, but probably around 16,000 trillion tokens, which means that Bitcoin could be used anywhere in the world. In fact, it is being used everywhere in the world, and it could be used as a monetary standard for every single country in the world. If we did that, it would level the playing field. We could get rid of all the central banks, all the scummy shitballs in our government who are exploiting our resources, who are destroying our dollar, the U.S. dollar and the yen and whatever else, the euro. All these scumballs would be brought to their knees, and everyone who's holding Bitcoin would be able to, live the life that we want. I watched a good show the other day on the 2008 banking crisis. In fact, I've watched two of them to get a better handle on what happened to the banking crisis. But the one common theme of the banking crisis was that all of the rich people, the elites that were in J.P. Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo and these billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar banks, all of them walked away with these gigantic multi-million, tens, hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses after the bailouts. After the government bailed these banks out, they paid themselves billions of dollars in bonuses for failing. And what happened? That was the expense to the consumer because we all pay taxes, and our taxes were used to help, pay off the bailouts, which I think is bullshit. So Bitcoin, since there are 21,000 trillion Bitcoin in circulation, minus the ones that have been lost, Bitcoin is going to be a monetary standard down the road. I know that it's a store of value, it's a commodity, all these wonderful things that Michael Saylor talks about. Matter of fact, Michael Saylor, they just bought another $700 or $800 million in Bitcoin last week. The large companies, the Jamie Dimons, the JP Morgans, these scumballs are telling you don't buy Bitcoin. It's a pet rock, whatever they're saying. They're saying that to you so you'll sell your Bitcoin and they can continue to accumulate Bitcoin behind your back. Just like all the rest of the scumball billionaires who don't give a shit about you. They're telling you not to buy it. They're buying it while you're selling it. They're going to become they're already ultra wealthy, and you're going to end up with nothing. Do not sell your Bitcoin. Don't sell your Bitcoin. If you think you can't afford Bitcoin, you can buy $1. You can buy a dime's worth of Bitcoin. You can go to crypto.com. You can go to any number of crypto wallets. You can download them on your phone and buy crypto immediately using your bank account. If you don't want to buy Bitcoin, I keep telling people buy the ETFs. The cool thing about the ETFs is that down the road, I buy IBIT. IBIT is the ticker symbol. It's BlackRock's Bitcoin Trust, their stock that you can buy. For every 100 shares that you own, you're going to be able to, down the road, when they start offering option trading, which they will, you'll be able to write covered calls on your options and make a monthly income off your options. All right? So it'd be kind of a cool way to generate income. And I think the Bitcoin Trust shares are only around $35 or $40 a share. I don't know. I haven't looked at them for a while. But for every lot of 100 shares that you own, for every 100 shares you own, you can write an option contract and make money on it. There are so many cool ways you're going to be able to make money on the Bitcoin ETFs. You just got to get involved. You got to buy them. You got to take the first step. So, if you don't know anything about Bitcoin, you should read the book, The Bitcoin Standard by Safedine Ammous. You should also read The Fiat Standard by Safedine Ammous. It's Safedine, whatever. He's amazing. The guy's brilliant. The books that he writes are very user-friendly, very fast reading, and it'll give you an exposure to Bitcoin. Michael Saylor says in order to understand a concept, you need to study it for 1,000 hours. And when I got up this morning, I was thinking about, I've been studying Bitcoin for about over 13 years. I've probably put a minimum of 10 or 15,000 hours into understanding Bitcoin, and I still don't, I'm still learning about Bitcoin. But there's a difference between learning about Bitcoin and studying Bitcoin and actually buying it. You should be buying Bitcoin and studying it, learning at the same time, so that when your friends ask about it, you'll be able to give them some type of intelligent conversation. Everyone is going to own Bitcoin. Everyone in the world will own a piece of a Bitcoin sometime down the road. It's not too late to buy Bitcoin. At the conference that Michael Saylor was at last week, where was that? Not Portugal, but hell, doesn't matter where's that. They're predicting an $8 million Bitcoin, which I think is actually pretty low compared to what Bitcoin could be worth if different countries start adopting them, as we get rid of these bullshit central banks that we have that dictate the monetary policy, that tell you what you're worth. Bitcoin is completely a supply-demand model. It's the most perfect, beautiful model in the world. We don't need central banks. We don't need governments controlling our money. These central bank digital currencies that they're talking about right now, which I talked about a few years ago, I said this is a way for the government to track your movement. If you use a central bank digital currency, they're going to give you a digital wallet. They're going to track every single transaction you make. They're going to tell you drink too much coffee this week. They're going to tell you how much gas you can put in your car. They're going to shut your card off if you talk about the government. They're going to track you around the world no matter where you go. We do not want central bank digital currencies. We want Bitcoin. I don't particularly care for any other type of currency. I call it currency other than Bitcoin, even though I do trade Fiat. I do it just for fun. All my profits in Fiat I use to buy Bitcoin, or continue to buy Bitcoin, or I buy the Bitcoin Trust, the IBIT. So anyway, I'm just driving around this morning thinking about how amazing life is and how much more amazing it could be for everyone else if you just take the plunge and buy some Bitcoin or buy one of the ETFs. If you want to provide a legacy for your children and your grandchildren forever and ever, you need to buy Bitcoin. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm going to continue enjoying my ride, continue drinking my Tim Hortons coffee, and I'm going to go read the Bitcoin Standard again today. Another good book is Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. It's about a 500-page book. Absolutely fantastic. You got to read it. If you don't understand money, which I tell my wife, my stepdaughter all the time, you guys don't understand money. It's just money in, money out. If you don't understand money, you're never going to buy into Bitcoin, because you won't understand what's actually happening to your money. So read the Bitcoin Standard, read the Fiat Standard, read the book Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell, buy them on Amazon today and read them, and then comment and let me know if you've read them or not, and we can have a conversation about these books. As a matter of fact, I think the next video I'm going to talk about the Bitcoin Standard. It's just beautifully and elegantly written. Seyfedin Ammous is brilliant. I love listening to this guy, so yeah, I think I'm going to do that. All right, I thought about it. I'm doing it. Crypto News Nation, I'm out. Have fun.